Hello. I was um I was talking to somebody just this morning about meditation, and he'd been meditating for a few years. And what became apparent was when he talked about meditation was his attitude. And what's the point I make? I'm trying to just bear with. I'm trying to get to a point here. I've just started, and so what he was trying to do, or what he was saying, he was talking to me, and what he was saying was, I keep thinking. And when he said that, my antennae went up. Ah, that's the problem. There it is. And I asked him, I said, when have I ever asked you to stop thinking? He said, well, never. And I've read the books. None of them tell me to stop thinking, but I can't stop thinking. And that is one of the problems that even very experienced meditators make. And it's often what brings us to a halt with meditation. It can become so frustrating. Well, it's not working, or my mind isn't as quiet as I thought it would be. See, mindfulness or meditation, it isn't about having a blank mind. It isn't about quietening the mind down. We want it to be that. I know you do. I did. But that's not what it's about. Mindfulness, as I was explaining to the guy this morning, is we can see it as a mirror. It reflects back what's happening. So in the morning you go to the bathroom and there's a wall, and on the wall is normally a mirror. Okay. And you look in the mirror and you see that, maybe you look a bit, rough night, or you look rested, you need a shave, or your makeup's ran, or whatever it is. The mirror reflects back what's happening. It never lies. A mirror never lies. And a far more intelligent and healthy way of approaching mindfulness, or a meditation practice, is to see it as a mirror. Now, a mirror is completely open. If it's within its view, so to speak, it gets reflected back. Now, that mirror never ever lies. You look in the mirror and it tells you exactly what is going on. It just reflects back as is. Just as a pause does. Right then, we had a pause. That pause is an opportunity to look in the mirror. What's going on? Because when you ask what's going on, your attention goes whoop. Or at least some of your attention goes, oh. And there's a sense of presence. You tune in, as it were. You reside, you dwell in that sense of presence. And in that sense of presence, you see what's happening. Sounds. Maybe you're looking at the screen. Maybe you notice the flowers or the green, or that I need a shave, or whatever. Whatever your own thoughts, your own feelings, your contact with the chair or the bed. The sound of your heating system. So your mirror never lies, it just reflects back as is. Okay. Now, how we interpret that, oh, I don't like that. Oh, I must have a shave. And oh, what if I do? Yeah. No, nothing wrong with having a shave, or, clean face with some water on, or whatever it is. But see, the mirror itself never lies. Does the mirror ever say, hang on, I don't want to reflect back those roses, I just want to reflect back the chrysanthemums. Or I don't like that bedspread in the bedroom, I don't want to reflect back that. I just want to reflect back the curtains. Or I don't like, I don't like the fact that you haven't had a shave. I don't want to reflect that back. I just want to reflect back, your eyes. So I like your eyes. Does a mirror have those sorts of opinions and judgments and comparisons and likes and dislikes? Of course not. So what we're doing when we meditate is being more mirror-like or being more space-like. But to do that, we have to give up this idea, or at least be honest about this idea that I want to manipulate my experience so that it is what I want it to be. See, a mirror doesn't want anything to be other than it is. Just reflects back. It's as is. I'm just reflecting it back. But we tend not to do that. I don't like that. I don't like this. I want more of that. I want less of that. I don't like the fact he said that. What's she doing there? What? Oh, I should be more. I should be kinder now. I should have a quieter mind. I should have this. I should have that. I'd like to be more like this. I wish I didn't do that. And see, we are full of those shoulds and shouldn'ts and oughts and I'd likes and I don't likes and I want and I don't want. It should be's. We're full of them. And the tighter we hold on to those preferences or demands, is the more that we will feel stress and distress and suffer frustration. So, in a sense, a happy mind is a mind that is unperturbed or less perturbed by what enters it. There's less of this, there's less grabbing and pushing away. It becomes more mirror-like or more space-like. It's like you have a space. And there's only one space, by the way. There's not many different spaces. The space here isn't different from in this room, isn't different from the space outside. The walls come down, it's all one space. It's just one space. There are objects within space. But you have space. Now, if you threw, let's say, some 3 different coloured paints in the air, you threw some red in the air, you threw some white in the air, and you threw some black in the air. Would space say, hang on, I like the black, I don't mind the red, but I don't want the white? No. What does it do? Nothing. It just, in a sense, it just welcomes and accepts all 3 equally. The black, the red, and the white. Now, those different coloured paints, in a sense, are similar to our own experiences, our thoughts. I like those thoughts, I don't want those. I want to think positively, not negatively. Straight away, you're into that whole world again, that whole way of being again. Picking and choosing. So what do we do? Let's get practical. So we sit. Let's sit for a few minutes now. Just close your eyes if you wish, or just rest your gaze on the floor in front, or a white wall, or a black wall, or a red wall. Okay. Need to be clear about this. And we just feel the breath. We listen to any sounds. And we now are a big space, or we are a mirror, or a big space, whichever does it for you. What is being reflected by, or what arises in this big space, there's a sound or sounds. There are bodily sensations. And there are thoughts. And some of those thoughts hijack our attention. And all we do when we pop back, as it were, is say to ourselves, thinking. It's not a judgment or a statement. Outside this room right now are some bamboo wind chimes. I like that sound. Oh, but there's also sound of a bus. I don't like that one. Maybe you can hear somebody, the mumbling of voices in the distance. Oh, not sure about that. Wish they'd keep quiet. So notice your responses, your reactions to what enters into this space. What is reflected in the mirror. Even all these bodily sensations are arising in this spaciousness. There's an innate knowing, innate awareness, just registering. But then the mind comes in, or thought comes in with, I don't like that one. I wish they'd keep quiet. Oh, I like that breath. That was a nice breath, nice long breath. So starts to commentate. Thinking. See, there's nothing to achieve. That's just more preference. I don't like this, I don't like here, I want to be there. But if that happens, well, we can just know it happens, or it's happening. You can carry on as well if you want to, just with your eyes closed or sitting quietly. So as we continue with our practice, a kind of understanding or insight arises. A transformation happens. And the transformation is one of being mind-oriented or thinking-oriented to one of being life-oriented or experience-oriented. A life where sensing or intuitive awareness is the faculty which is greater than the thinking mind. The thinking mind, after all, takes its rightful place as an instrument that can be used for a particular purpose. It drops down the hierarchy. For most of us, it's at the top of the hierarchy of tools that we have, or capacities, or abilities, or functionings, probably a better term. So instead of it jabbering away all day, what happens is as we practice, a very gradual transformation happens. We want to move from the head. We notice that we're in the head, we're in thought, commentating on life, thinking. And we come back in to the felt experience of the body, or just the felt experience of the sensations that make up the body. Into this, just this. Now, when you come back to just this, there's an aliveness. And within this aliveness, the senses are functioning. Hearing's functioning. Smell, if there's incense or food. Sense of taste, even without food or without it being activated. Seeing's happening. Feeling's happening, or sensing. And so what we do when we meditate, we abide in the sensing. We abide in presence. And this presence isn't something you have to create. Do you have to create this sense of presence now? No, of course not. It's innate. It's our innate aliveness, innate intelligence, innate functioning. And in this innate functioning, or this innate intelligence, life is lived. All the senses function. The food is digested, the breathing happens, the heart beats, the lungs work. All effortless. The thinking happens. But we make a problem out of this. We attach to the thinking and we create an abstract world that goes orbiting around a mental static. A kind of mental static. My screen just went off there for a moment. And so what we want to do is we identify the thinking as not a problem, thinking. I'm having a thought, ... You've done the thought labeling with me before. And we come back, we abide in this, here. But see, it's not very exciting. Yeah, but where's the drama? Where's the excitement? If it's drama and excitement you want, then stay in the head. But it won't be very satisfying. If you want to feel alive, if you want to feel a joy of being, which is not all that, it's a very quiet, sweet okayness with life. It's being the container rather than over-identifying with the contents. If you're not quite sure what I'm talking about there, look up the ABC of mindfulness on the past meditations. It's there. See, we're not doing anything here. We're not doing presence. We're not doing awareness. You can't do awareness. You can't do presence. You can't do your true self. If I asked you to stand up, or let me put it another way, how far away are you from yourself? How far do you have to go now to be present? Which way would you have to turn to be aware? No matter where you go, makes absolutely no difference. But we have this idea that we need to be somewhere else. Yeah, but. And people sometimes say to me, yeah, but I wouldn't get anything done if I just sat there. Well, when the time comes to do something, you get up and do it. You always have done. It's this idea we have that we have to be in control of everything and think everything and make sure that, oh, I'll do this at this time and that at that time, and you have to make sure everything gets done. We don't need to. Do you have to make sure that your heart beats? You're thinking about your next breath now? Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Ah, that's better. Hang on, well, I think about next one. Okay, hang on, what? You don't think about your next breath. You don't think about your next thought. All we need to do is learn, and that's not quite the right, it's not an intellectual learning, let me put it that way, is to learn to live this moment. And you can't do that in a deliberate sort of way, like I'm just going to be in the moment now. Forget it. You can't do it like that. It's already the case. Feel presence, that's it. As we abide in that in meditation, and you do this in daily life, what we do, we're working against this habitual tendency to be lost in thinking and creating and sort of becoming. I must become something. And so we start to weaken that whole habitual tendency, and we come back to this. And we trust in this. Simple functioning. And it gets everything done. See, it's almost like we're on a roller coaster. We're in the front seat, and there's a pretend steering wheel and a pretend accelerator, throttle, and brake. We're sitting in the front, and we have our hands tightly on the steering wheel, and we're steering it. Now this is a roller coaster. Yeah, and there's ups and there's downs, and it goes round and upside down, and thankfully you're strapped in, and you do this magnificent ride with all the wonderful views when you get to the top, and the lows. Oh yeah, the drama, the true dramas of life, not the thought made up dramas, the true dramas of life, the true events of life. The swirling and the ups and the downs and the upside downs, all that. And it's happening anyway because it's on these tracks. Life is going like this. But we are there grabbing onto the steering wheel, and we've got our attention focused on the steering wheel and the tracks, and we miss everything. We're thinking we're steering this. That's what we think we do. We believe we are the driver of this. And so we cling on, trying to control, overthinking about everything. And then a teacher comes, or somebody comes along, not a teacher, it might be a book, comes along, and this is what my teacher did for me. He just said, well, how about taking that finger off? Oh, 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 take that off. And I'm, and take that. What have you got? Your foot must be tied on that accelerator all the time, and on that brake. Take them off. Oh, and what happens? You relax. You realize that life is living. Decisions are still made. But we don't have to be uptight and thinking that we have to control everything. But then what? We can enjoy the ride. Look at that. Wow, look at the view. Oh, it's gone. Oh, I might lose my job. And then you have to deal with that. We deal with it without all the me drama, the chatter drama, the opinions and judgments. You deal with it. And then you get ill. Oh, that's another. Oh, I have to deal with that. Or not. At some point, you won't be able to deal with it. It would be your last illness. But you'd be there to appreciate it. Or if it's not your last illness, it changes again. It goes round, and the wind's howling, it's raining, or next day it's sunshine. You get all these different experiences of life. And when you're living that, when you're there with life in that way, you're not going to ask, what's the meaning of life? You never ask it again. You're just appreciating the ride, enjoying it when it's pleasant, and doing your best, just being with life when it's not pleasant. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.